What up? You got the original Lone Wolf coming at y'all, man. I got a segment for y'all that I want to put out real quick. It's gonna be a screen share. And shout out to the brother Westside Kulik because he did like a 1 or 2 minute skit of this actual full segment that you all see that's on screen here. And I dropped down in his comment section and I had told him, like, man, bro, I got the full segment, you know what I'm saying, to this shit you just played. I had been saying I was going to do a video on it, you know what I'm saying? So I probably should go on and drop it, you dig? And that's what I told him in the comment section. So shout out to you, Westside. I had been intended on doing a video long before you put that 2 minute, because the one he did, it was like, like a little minute and a half, 2.5 minute joint. You know what I'm saying? He didn't play a whole lot of it, right? What you're looking at on screen is the whole 19 minutes of it, right? Which is what we about to get into. This is probably going to be the last video I make in regards to voting before the election comes up. I'm really getting sick and tired of everybody want to have this conversation about voting as we get close to election. People want to put their 2 cents in. And, I think one of the smartest things to do outside of not voting is to not talk about it. And I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are, how young you are, what your skin tone is, whatever the case may be. I'm not targeting one individual. I'm talking about all of y'all who talk about voting. Okay? And y'all know why. I went through that whole election judge shit with y'all and the whole 9 yards, right? Now, y'all always hear me use that as one of my bases for why I don't deal with voting. The fact that I was an election judge. And I was. I'm not lying. I'm not lying to y'all. You know what I'm saying? I was an election judge for years. The other reason, and this is something that I don't talk about, quite often, but this also solidifies another reason for why I don't deal with voting. I want somebody to drop down in my comment section and give me some timeline, some history, and everything else in regards to when have the Republican Party ever did anything for so-called black folks when they controlled the House and the Senate. It's not like we've been living in a country where the entire time the governmental system has been run, both the House and the Senate, by Democrats. Okay? This shit has not always been this way. You've had many a times in American history, going back from, we'll just say from the 1900s, we'll say from 1900 all the way up to now. There's been many a times where the fucking Republican Party has controlled the House and the Senate. So what I want somebody to do for me is to go back through that timeline in history and point out specific details and facts as to when the Aboriginal people were better under the Republican Party, right? Now, if y'all just heard me say that, then you already know where I'm going with this. I'm saying fuck both parties. Fuck them all. Fuck them all. Right? You should already know that that's where I'm going with that. Now, that's the other reason for why I don't talk about voting. Because I've always talked to y'all about the whole election judge thing. And again, like I said, I wasn't lying to y'all. I was an election judge. Okay? But what you all just heard me say is the other reason. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into this shit, man. Like, I'm finna rip some motherfuckers apart in here. This is not for the weak and the timid. Get your goddamn children out of the room. I'm going to say it again. Get the fucking youngsters out of the room. This is not for them.
Thank you. It wasn't that long ago that we had a Republican governor for 16 years. And there were days that within the suburban Cook County was reliably Republican.
Now, listen to this. He just fucked up from the word go. Yeah, I remember that cocksucker that was a Republican governor for 16 years. And Chicago and the state of Illinois has been fucked up for those 16 years that this cocksucker was the governor. This is what I'm alluding to when y'all just heard me say, well, when have the fucking Republicans ever controlled the House and the Senate and things got better for us? Now you see why I'm saying it. He opened up. He came out the gate sideways. Illinois has always been fucked up. When this fucking Republican governor was the governor for 16 years, he didn't do nothing about the FOIA card, the firearm owner ID card. He didn't do nothing about that. Did you know in Illinois you can't even buy bullets without that card? You can't buy bullets, man, without that card. Did you know that you can't even fill out the 4470 or 4473 or whatever the fuck the number is to that form on the federal level? You can't even fill that out without the goddamn Illinois FOIA card. They won't let you fill it out. And all of that was going on under the 16 years. That prick was the fucking governor. But anyway, let's go. Because I got an overwhelmingly amount of energy today, man. I've been watching the brother the brother Rando and Jim Redwood and them. I'm watching these motherfuckers with pickaxes and shovels and shit. I got an overwhelmingly abundant amount of energy this morning, man. Let's get into this shit.
If Illinois is really ever going to become a red state again, we need to turn what's happening in our suburbs and become reliable again. We all
Red states don't make you get FOIA cards, motherfucker.
Oh, this is no secret. The times are changing. And
out of the 4 states, because there's only 4 states in America where you got to have a firearm owner ID card in order to do anything. Out of the 4 states that require this, all 4 of them are blue. God damn. I get irritated by this kind of shit because when I hear these type of segments, right? And shout out to America's Talking Network. Fair use to you, Greg Bishop. You know, I very rarely ever have anything to say to you. It's always the stuff that you put out that I critique. So I'm not trying to, again, I'm not trying to fucking diss Greg Bishop and all this other shit. I'm not trying to put down the America's Talking Network. I'm not trying to do all that. I'm just using this for educational purposes only. Okay? But I get irritated by these type of segments because in order for them to continue to put these type of segments out, that means the fucking scam is still working when it comes to voting. Now, people have argued, hey, man, a lot of people are waking up and, they're saying the voter turnout is at a historical low and all this other shit, right? And that might be true. I'm not here to antagonize that. What I am here to say is still is not enough. I'm not satisfied. When I hear segments like this, I am not satisfied with whatever fucking shit we're doing. Because this type of shit needs to go away. It's just like how y'all heard me tell y'all in the past. I say, dig this here. Let me brighten this up a little bit. I say, dig this here, man. These celebrities and all of these rich motherfuckers, they should not have a voice. They should not be allowed to speak. Right? Now, the first thing a motherfucker like Denzel Washington or Morgan Freeman is going to say is, bitch, that's against my First Amendment. Right? And my response to Denzel and Morgan Freeman would be, you know what? You're right. Even if you are actor, that would be a violation of your freedom of speech. You're right. So the way we silence your fucking ass is by not listening to you. That's how we silence you, motherfucker. How long you gonna keep talking when ain't nobody listening? I keep trying to tell y'all, man, the Lone Wolf got all kind of fucking ideas that don't require you firing a goddamn shot. It requires no violence of any kind. This is why they don't like me. Because I could get buck with it. I got firearms and weapons and shit. But I choose not to use them. Because I got other shit that's just as effective or more effective that don't involve weapons. I done told y'all a million times, my weapon is my mind. I done told y'all that a million times, man. If you ever come in contact with me in real life, and I am I'm making plans to get with the brother Redwood and Rando and all them. I'm making plans. I already got a whip. I don't know if I told them niggas that or not, but I got another car. I'm making plans to come see them. When I link up with them motherfuckers, they're gonna be like, damn, this nigga was for real. He real with this shit. It's like, man, my motherfucking mind is impeccable. I have a brain and I use it. The way you get rid of these motherfuckers, the way you shut fucking Snoop Dogg down or Eminem and all the rest of these punk motherfuckers when they got something profound to say, motherfuckers like Ice Cube, yeah, this your boy Ice Cube. And I just want to let y'all know that I ain't down with none of that stuff that Cat Williams was talking about in Hollywood. Shut the fuck up. Yes, the fuck you are, you piece of shit. So the way you shut him the fuck up when he talk like that, don't listen to him. And eventually they'll go away. That's how you strip them of their First Amendment without stripping them of their First Amendment. Let's go.
Illinois. The times are changing in Cook County. Liberal Democrats and the media, some of the media.
Times are changing in Cook County. Did y'all hear the other day that Chicago Public School entire school board resigned at the same time? What are you talking about? Shit is changing in Crook County. I'm sorry, Crook County. What the fuck you say? Times are changing? Well, maybe they are. The whole goddamn Chicago Public School Board resigned. All 7 of them or 9 of them, however many of them it is. They all resigned. So maybe that's the fucking change he's talking about.
Suffer under a delusion that historically loyal voters to the Democratic Party, including African Americans and Latinos, are in favor, or at least don't mind that much coddling of violent criminals who ravage their neighborhoods. This couldn't be further from the truth. The vast majority of violent crimes in Cook County are in black and brown neighborhoods. This campaign has taken me to nearly every community in Cook County: black, white, Latino, Asian, West Side, North Side, North Lakefront, and everywhere in between. In every one of those single communities, every one of them, I hear the same. They want the murders, the rapists, the carjackers, the armed robbers put in jail for a long, long time.
Let me say this to y'all, right? I may not be as deep or as profound with history as a motherfucker like Jim Red Wolf or, Lex Will or the brother, I can't pronounce his name, Kumaru, or I'm sorry, I know I'm fucking your name up, bro. I apologize, but I may not be as profound as those brothers. I think it's spelled Kumero or something like that. I can't pronounce it. But anyway, I might not be as profound as them when it come down to history and being able to put it out there in a way that people can understand and coming up on all these different pictures of artifacts and all this other shit, right? I might not be as good as some of these other brothers that are out here. But one thing I could tell you, as I said before, is I'm not fucking stupid. And my question that I have in regards to the violence in any neighborhood, it doesn't matter if it's in the Aboriginal community or if it's in some pale-skinned community. The problem that I have is this. Why is it that nobody talks about the laws of nature? Right? What's one of, correct me if I'm wrong, but ain't one of the laws of nature self-preservation? Now, if you guys say, yeah, Lone Wolf, you're right. Yeah, one of the laws of nature is self-preservation, right? Now, my next question to you is going to be, within that self-preservation, wouldn't there be a right to defend yourself? How in the fuck can you preserve yourself when you cannot defend yourself? So then the next question after that would be, why ain't nobody talking about that? Why ain't nobody really getting into the crux of 2 things? Number 1, everybody has a right to defend their liberty, their life, their freedom, their family. And then the other thing that nobody is talking about, who in the fuck has the God-given authority to tell you you gotta lay down, you gotta bow down in a dangerous situation? I have not met one person in my fucking life that can successfully explain to me how another motherfucker who shit between 2 shoes like I do have that authority to tell me I can't do that. And this is not being talked about on a mass fucking level. This is why I don't go out to get fucking concealed permits and all this. Man, you motherfuckers got me all the way fucking twisted. First and foremost, you run up on me with a motherfucking firearm, the first thing I'm gonna do is tie the fucking case up in discovery. The fucking cop have been retired by the time they finish this case, because I'm gonna tie the whole motherfucking case up in discovery. How in the fuck was you searching me to begin with? What did I do that caused you to search me? Because that's the only way you would have knew I had it on me to begin with. Because if I decide to step out the fucking crib with my shit and I don't have a concealed carry permit, you better believe I'm gonna walk around and act like I don't have nothing on me. So at the time when you came in contact with me, officer such and such, and you patted me the fuck down and you ended up finding one of my motherfucking pipes, you better have a good goddamn reason for why you searched me in the first place. And if you don't, you do know that anything you find is inadmissible, my nigga. Let's roll.
They want someone to stand with victims for a change. They're tired of excuses. They want no cash bail, home monitoring, early release, or not prosecuting violent criminals who terrorize their neighborhoods.
Is it me, y'all? Or do it sound like this motherfucker slurring his words? Now, I only know two types of motherfuckers who slur their words. One is somebody who had a stroke, and another one is somebody that's drunken and Cooter Brown. But let's roll.
I talk to voters everywhere, regardless of the zip code they live in. They want a state's attorney who will be tough on violent criminals, enforce the law as written, work with law enforcement and not against it, and stand with victims instead of ignoring them. In other words, the opposite of the George Soros-funded favorite prosecutor, Kim Fox. There are other factors in this race that are creating change and are going to have a political earthquake in Cook County. Unlike other Republican candidates over the years in Cook County, I am not a Johnny-come-lately to the African American and Latino communities. Because of my life's work as a civil rights attorney and two-term alderman in a ward that was 72% African American when I was first elected, I have been in these
What's an African American?
communities over and over, not just asking for votes. They know I'm on their side. They know I will fight for them. And more importantly, they know.
Why do I need you to fight for me, man? See, now do you understand why I brought up the whole self-preservation thing? Self-preservation does not include this fucker that's speaking. Y'all just gotta forget the language, man. If you niggas is soft-skinned and thin-skinned, then just get the fuck on. All right? Because, I'm not cussing y'all out. I'm talking about my subscribers and shit. Y'all know I'm not cussing y'all out. You know what I'm saying? It's like, where in the fuck do self-preservation include another motherfucker? Right? Because we just had that conversation about the law of nature, right? Ain't that one of the laws of nature? Self-preservation, right? Somebody gonna clap back and be like, "No, Original Lone Wolf, you right, man. Yeah, everybody have a right to preserve and to grow and to flourish, right? Because that's what it means. Within that would be your right to defend yourself. What the fuck does that have to do with this prick that we see on screen that's slurring his words? How is that self? Self is singular. That's not plural. Now, if he'd have said we preservation or something, or our preservation, that's a different story. Self-preservation is singular. That means one in the motherfucking visual. But anyway, continue.
Over the years in those communities, I've created thousands of jobs, developed quality schools, helped provide social services, and worked as hard as I can by keeping their communities safe and by backing law enforcement and creating Operation Safe Passage so the kids can get to school safely. As a civil rights attorney, I've been a voice for the voiceless. And in one instance, I helped free an African-American teenager who was faced with 71 years of a series of rapes that the DNA proved that he was not connected with in any way. This is in stark contrast with...
Okay, so if the DNA proved, guys, to all of my ladies and gentlemen subscribers, if the DNA proved that this motherfucker didn't do it, then what do we need you for? Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you not getting it? Come on now, if you subscribe to my channel, you gotta be getting it. Now, I know I may lose a motherfucker despite the fact that, you know what I'm saying, you subscribe to me. But then you're supposed to drop down the comment section and be like, well, Lone Wolf, what do you mean by this? Or when you said this, what'd you mean by that? You feel me? If I do lose you in any way. But for the most part, the motherfuckers that subscribe to me, it's like, come on, man, y'all with me. Y'all get this shit. If the fucking DNA test or whatever, whatever they did, when, motherfuckers get raped and all this other shit, if it comes back that the shit don't belong to him, then what do we need this motherfucker for? Why? This how you know it's all a fucking scam. They got laws and shit on the books, right? That if they just enforced them laws, or if they just went by their own bullshit statutes and code of federal registries and all of that shit, we wouldn't need this motherfucker on screen. That's how you know he a part of it. I mean, man, I get so tired of fucking exposing this shit, I don't know what to do. This is why I'm looking for other alternatives. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, when I go back and I watch Jim Redwood videos now and I see Rando and all them out there and I see these niggas swinging pickaxes and shit, it make me want to do that. Because I'm tired of this shit. This merry-go-round fucking monkey bar bullshit, man. I get tired of breaking this shit down. Who in the fuck don't see this? I get tired of breaking down motherfuckers like Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson and all these. I get tired of breaking these motherfuckers down, man. I done showed motherfuckers in the most rudimentary way that Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson are modern day motherfucking Jesse Jacksons and motherfucking Al Sharptons. I done proved it without a shadow of a motherfucking doubt. It's just that fucking simple.
My opponent, who railroaded an 11-year-old African-American child for murder from a coerced confession. She knew the key details of the child's confession did not match the facts of the case.
So you got an indigenous American boy that's supposed to be 11 years old, and 11 is the master number, so they say with this Masonic shit, and Tisha B'Av, Solomon's Temple, and all this other shit, because you got two towers, so that represents 1-1, and all this other stupid shit. And I know it go deeper than that. I know Red could come in and say, no, motherfucker, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that ain't the case. But I'm just saying from what they try to let us know about this Masonic shit. So needless to say, you got an 11-year-old indigenous American little boy, right, who's supposed to gave some sort of motherfucking confession to a murder that he did not do. Well, I got some serious motherfucking questions about that. Where in the fuck was his parents at when he gave this goddamn confession? Was he represented by counsel when he gave this motherfucking confession? And how in the fuck do a judge in a courtroom allow a confession by an 11-year-old motherfucking child, especially if it's under the pretenses that I just outlined where there's no attorney and no fucking parents present? But anyway, let's go.
And prosecuted it anyway. During the trial, she made a deeply offensive comment about an innocent young child, calling him a whole new breed of criminal. Can you imagine an officer of the court dehumanizing a black child in a way, especially when she knew that person was innocent? Despite a federal court order.
Now, here's my next question. What happened to this motherfucking officer of the court? Where are they today? Don't you understand this is how you know he's in on it? See, when you ask questions like this, y'all, they pack up and get the fuck away from you. When you ask shit like this in a traffic court, they want to get you the fuck out of there. You know how many traffic courts I've been thrown out of? They throw me the fuck out. Showing no fear is already a problem. And then knowing what you fucking talking about seals the deal. Continue.
Throwing the confession out. My opponent, far from apologizing, doubled down on her malfeasance, blaming everyone, including the public defender, for her blunder. Fair-minded people across the county, including many black voters, already know about this case and tell me and believe her actions and statements were unacceptable and have pledged to support, work, and vote for me. Because of these issues and the contrast between my record and my opponent, I believe we are in this election going to make suburban South Cook County and all of the suburban areas.
Why is he reading from a script? And he's slurring the words of the script while he's talking. This man is drunk. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. He drunk, and this motherfucker standing next to him with this big ass milk dud head, he look like he toasty too. But the motherfucker that's speaking, I guarantee you any amount of motherfucking money, he got a 16-ounce flask in his motherfucking blazer pocket. Bet money on it. He looked like the type of motherfucker that'll pull his flask out his blazer pocket and put a splash of that shit in his fucking coffee. Continue.
Going to win more than 30% of the vote in Chicago that will be needed to win this election. I believe that Republicans, not just in Cook County, but across Illinois, understand that Illinois cannot become red unless we have suburban Cook County going red in a big way. And that's why. Now,
he's saying suburban Cook County, right? That's what Dalton is, right? Research Tiffany Haynyard, who's the fucking mayor, excuse me, who's a melanated mayor of Dalton, which is a south suburb in Crook County. Research what this heifer doing down there. Dalton, Illinois, Dolton. Dalton, Illinois, the fucking mayor name is Tiffany Haynyard. You research this fucking disgusting, filthy hell. If it weren't for my female subscribers. I don't want to offend y'all, so let me stop. But just go research her. Look into Tiffany Haynyard, who's the mayor of Dalton, which is a south suburb of Crook County. It's down there by places like Riverdale and I guess you could say Harvey, Markham, Midlothian, and shit like that. It's down there in that area, because all those other suburbs I just named, that's in Crook County also. That's the fucking area that he's talking about. Now, mind you, all of those areas that I just named is all predominantly our people. On top of that, now we talking about the suburbs now. We ain't talking about the city. We're talking about the burbs. All right? Research Tiffany Haynyard, man, that heifer down there. Anyway, let's go.
I have the support of many of these leaders who are all here before and standing behind me and alongside of me. And with their help, we will make Cook County a reliable area for Republican voters, and we're going to change this state around. Thank you, everybody, for being here.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, the motherfucker that's standing next to him finna start speaking. We're going to listen to a little bit of what he have to say, and I'm in the video. I'm going to give my little critique, and I'm going to get out of here. I don't really want to go past a certain amount of time. But I hope you guys really watch this shit, man, and really just try to home in on what it is that I'm saying. Now, the video that I'm watching this from is on screen here, so you guys can go and play the whole 19 minutes if you want to. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this shit has to stop. I'm tired, man. But anyway, let's go, because like I say, the motherfucker standing next to him is going to speak.
Most of the complaints you raised at the beginning about the justice system and prosecutions in Cook County were about Kim Foxx's leadership. She's not going to be the state's attorney.
Listen here, man. Kim Foxx, right? Kim Foxx, you can go all through Chicago, especially on the south side, which is where I'm from. That's where I was when I did that YouTube short talking to y'all about the Blues Brothers jumping that bridge. That's on the south side also. But anyway, Kim Foxx with 2 X's, right? State's attorney. You can go all over the south side and see little pieces of paper and shit taped up at the bus stop, you know, where you stand under the bus stop shelter and shit at the, you know, the transit bus stops and shit. You can see it all tacked up on trees and shit where it say Kim Foxx is a child abusing criminal. This is no motherfucking joke. If I'm not mistaken, I think I sent a picture that I took on a tree one time and sent it to Jim Redwood, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know when I was dealing with the sister Deborah, a.k.a. Mimi Olong or whatever, I sent her a couple of the pictures like, look at this shit. Straight up. So if you got that kind of shit posted all over the fucking city, and particularly on the south side. Now you got to remember, you know, south side is the largest side of Chicago. It has the highest concentration of our people, despite the fact that we make up the vast majority of the population of the people in Chicago. Despite that being said, the south side of Chicago is still the largest side. The south side of Chicago and the east side of Chicago is kind of merged together. And the reason for why we don't really have a true east side is because at some point you're going to run into Lake Michigan, right? So you have to go pretty far south to go around that little horseshoe. If you all look at Lake Michigan on the map and you look at Indiana, you look at where Chicago is and etc. There's a horseshoe where the lake goes around in like a C or like a horseshoe. You know what I'm saying? You have to go around that considerably far south to gain more ground going east. You understand what I'm saying? Because most of east in Chicago is the Lake Michigan. Meaning, if you travel so far due east, you're going to need a fucking boat. All right? But anyway, let's go.
Aside from that one case that you cited at the end, what are your major differences with the Democratic nominee?
First of all, at her announcement when she won the nomination, she said she was falsely portrayed as harsh on crime. I think if you listen to all of the debates,
she was the bitch that wouldn't prosecute the mutual combat bullshit that Sammy Davis Jr., a.k.a. Lori Lightfoot, was talking about. Remember they showed y'all that video that I told y'all was fake? That shit was fake. It was not real. But, remember the video of the motherfucking so-called gangbangers having a shootout and shit, and the police rolled up right in the center of the bullets flying and shit, and they didn't charge the motherfuckers because Lori Lightfoot was talking about mutual combat? Well, motherfucking Kim Foxx was the state's attorney then. She was the state's attorney. She don't work for Lori Lightfoot. Do you understand? I.e. state's attorney. Hello? She don't work for Lori Lightfoot. Who the fuck is to tell Kim Foxx she can't file charges? You got to understand, police officers recommend charges. The goddamn prosecutor is the one that filed them. They filed the fucking charges against you. Cops just make a recommendation. This is the reason for why when you get into court, sometimes some of the cases get dropped. Some of the charges they take off. Who the fuck you think doing that? The state's attorney is doing it. So in other words, what I'm saying to you is this. The state's attorney has sole authority over what cases get filed, what charges get filed against the person. So if they was going to fucking do anything about anything, they'd have done it way back when they showed y'all the video of the mutual combat shit. Why are there fucking posters all over the south side of Chicago telling you that Kim Foxx is a child abusing criminal? I got to see if I still got that in my phone. I might make that shit my thumbnail. Anyway, let's go, y'all.
all of the radio interviews, she keeps backtracking on every statement that she made. I'm hearing it from police officers across the board that voted for her. The 40-some thousand Republicans that jumped ship.
I'm asking for an example. A place where your policies would differ from what she would do.
I'm going to restore the rule of law. I'm going to protect the victim. And I'm going to break the cycle of crime and corruption. Here is a woman, an individual, who gave the Democratic Party 43...
He going off some whiskey, man. That's some Jack Daniels or some Jim Beam this motherfucker going off of. Because you're not going to tell me this man ain't drunk. He doesn't have the posture and the pose of a person who had a stroke, right? Which is the only couple of things that I know of a motherfucker to slur their words the way that he's slurring his. You got to either have a fucking stroke or you got to be drunk to be talking the way this motherfucker talking. Listen to me. His motherfucking tongue is as heavy as a bulldozer shovel. I'm going to say that one more time. His fucking tongue is as heavy as a bulldozer shovel. He can barely lift his fucking tongue when he talking and enunciate certain words. That's how come you can tell he drunk. But anyway, continue.
$1,000 for a position that was unopposed. She gave it to the Democratic Party, Mike Madigan, Ed Burke, Tony Freckenhoff.
Mike Madigan is fighting a criminal case right now in federal court. Continue.
Was bought by the Democratic Party.
To the issue of population.
And if his daughter Lisa ain't careful, they gonna get her up on some shit too. Because she has completely risen through the fucking political ranks and been and achieved a lot of the power that she's achieved strictly off of the back of her fucking father. And like I said, Michael Madigan is fighting a case in federal court right now. You can't make this shit up, guys. I'm going to fast forward a little of this in a minute. Because again, like I said, that fucker was standing next to him with the milk dud head. He's going to start speaking too. But I forgot they was going to ask this guy questions before he turned the mic over to this motherfucker. We're going to play a little bit more of this. And then I'm going to fast forward next to this fucking coon clown boon ass motherfucker over here.
Black, white population in Chicago and Cook County are also fleeing in record numbers consistently. What would your election, if you were to win, what would that do to change that or reverse that?
Well, I'm hearing it over and over again that people want safety in the streets. The Chicago Tribune the other day said about the Mag Mile and how, or maybe it was the Sun Times, about how they change. You can't bring businesses to the county unless we have safety in our streets, safety in our schools, safety in every community. Unless we have that, people are not coming back. They love Chicago. Wherever I go, throughout the state, throughout this country, I hear, oh, what a great city. But I can't be there because of the crime.
May I ask who else is up here with you? At least I don't need like everybody's name. Some folks I recognize, but others I don't. Do we have delegates or anybody else want to share why you're here?
I'm
Besides
here.
Aaron.
My name's Aaron Delmar, and I'm here because
Yeah.
July 4th, with Mr. Faraday's night saying during the 4th of July weekend, 100 people were shot in Chicago. That number is rising. It's not going down. Under the failed leadership of the Democratic Party and all the people that are running Chicago.
And that shit ain't true. That's a goddamn lie. Now, let's add to this. I don't know if y'all know anything about this, but I think part of my job is to give news about what's going on in Chicago to the rest of the country. So for brothers like Red and them that's down in Arizona, you got the sister Michelle in Texas, and, you know, other people that's from around the country that I deal with and I know, I feel like it's my job to let y'all know what's going on. First and foremost, that's a fucking lie. It's not 100 shots and shit going on. Motherfuckers getting 100 people getting shot a day and all that. That's bullshit. Then number two, they just voted to get rid of ShotSpotter. This just happened like 3-4 days ago. Everybody was looking at Mayor Johnson like, you gonna do what? So if 100 motherfucking people are getting shot a day like this pussy just said, but yet y'all getting rid of ShotSpotter, it's like, okay, what the fuck is that about? Right? Now, interesting enough, I gotta send a shout out to my cousin Sean. Now, my cousin Sean is a licensed security guard, right? You know, my cousin, the one that was in the Zoom meetings and shit. He a licensed security guard. The motherfucker got concealed carry joints and fucking perk cards and all kind of shit, right? He hit me up the other day, was maybe like a couple of weeks ago. He hit me up and was like, yeah, man, you know, I had to go to a police station. I think he said on 51st and Wentworth. Don't quote me, but I think that's the one he said. He said he had to go in there for something, and he went in there, man, he saw these motherfucking cameras. He was like, man, cuz they could see every inch of the motherfucking joint from wooda 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 to wooda wooda wooda. They got cameras every motherfucking where. So now the question begs, how in the fuck did 100 people get shot? But anyway, let's go.
In Cook County, we are having increasing crime. So now is the time that we need to act and have the vision that Mr. Fioretti has for the next 4 years to show why we're going to make Chicago safer again.
Bob, can you talk about the GOP policy on abortion? Where do you stand? Do you support Donald
You know,
Trump's?
first of all, I'm going to back the way the law is. People know where I've stood on it. And I think it's been clear in the current policy.
That is some disrespectful shit, man, that they let that man speak like that and he drunk than a motherfucker. Like, that's wrong, man. All you got to do is close your eyes and absorb his words with every fiber of your body. And you can clearly hear him slurring his words. You can clearly tell he is drunk. That is disrespectful as hell, man. Straight up. That shit bogus as fuck.
Someone needs to be done.
Mr. Pierre, you answered Craig saying, Judge Burke gave this money to Democrats, but doesn't that contrast with, everything that Republicans have been saying? Think about bringing Democratic voters back into the fold and attracting, traditionally Democratic voters?
Well, if I think I understand your question, the way we bring people back into the fold is by showing that we stand for the rule of law. The Democrats have had a philosophy threefold. One, that the criminal defendant is the good guy.
Okay, we done heard enough of this heavy tongue motherfucker. Let me fast forward some, because I wanna chime in on this coon. I gotta get him. Give me 1 second, guys. Hold on.
People, but use us. So why,
Wait. Uh-oh. You speaking. Hold on.
and we have nothing.
Numbers are astronomical. In terms of the votes.
I'm so
People only
sorry.
vote in the other 6.
I'm so sorry, guys. I know this seemed to be a little unprepared, but he's gonna start speaking in the next minute or so. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. This fucking bastard.
AEL, like the country. You can Google me, Bob Israel, Chicago. I voted for Trump in 2016. Now I need to have a conversation with him.
Are you here as a delegate or a guest? Or how? A guest. I don't know what that.
Yes.
A guest.
I'm
Why
gonna talk-
do you believe Donald Trump is the answer?
Why do I believe that? It ain't about Trump. I'm against the Democratic Party. It ain't about Biden or
Hold
Trump.
on, yeah.
It's them
Hold on, that's right. I forgot about this clown. Hold on, let me go back. Forgot about him.
Every neighborhood, every area, and it's time for change.
But in a place like
Hold on, can I make a statement? Excuse me, you want to know who we are?
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to tell you right now who I am. I'm Bob King Israel, and I'm here to try to have a conversation with Trump, to train Trump.
Bob King Israel or some shit. Some of you just said, let's go back. What the fuck was that? I'm finna point out again how people just make us look fucking stupid. Anyway.
Go up, then we have a problem. But crime is affecting every neighborhood, every area, and it's time for change.
But in a place like
Hold on, can I make a statement? Excuse me, you want to know who we are?
Yeah, I do.
I'm going to tell you right now who I am. I'm Bob King Israel, and I'm here to try to have a conversation with Trump, to train Trump. There is no racist white Republicans in control in Cook County. I learned that from my comrade right here. So who's been in control in Chicago, Cook County for almost 100 years?
So you're gonna tell me that white folks that are Republicans ain't racist? Is that what I'm supposed to partake from? Huh? That's the cup I'm supposed to sip from, right? What are you talking about, dog? And what is this fucking King Israel shit? What is this about? What is this shit, man? Do you see? Oh my God. Anyway, let's go.
We just want to know where you're from. Are you from
Chicago, Inglewood. Have any of y'all ever walked the streets over there?
Yeah.
Inglewood, you walked.
So we want law enforcement in those
I'm sorry, come up to the microphone.
Yeah.
Can you spell your name, please?
BOBISRAEL, like the country. You can Google me, Bob Israel, Chicago. I voted for Trump in 2016.
I don't know no Israel family in Inglewood. What lineage is this? What the fuck? Okay, all right, let me give y'all a little bit more of a, let me give you guys a little bit more of a breakdown of this. Inglewood, he's not talking about like Inglewood, California, right? Like I told y'all before, Chicago is broken down into neighborhoods, like very similar to New York. You know what I'm saying? We got the Bronx, you got Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? You got all these different areas within New York. Chicago is very similar to that. So Inglewood is a neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, right? Bernie Mac is from Inglewood. Jennifer Hudson is from Inglewood, right? These are neighborhoods. It's not a suburb. It's still the same old Chicago y'all know about with the Sears Tower and all that. It's the same city. He's just talking about a neighborhood within that city. I don't know no motherfucking Israels. He says his last name is Israel, like the country. Did you change your name to that? Or was that some sort of lineage or whatever? Who the fuck are your people, bro? Who's your people? That's what I want to know. Where your people from? Straight up, because if you get to talking about Mississippi and Alabama and all this other shit, like what I would say, y'all know my motherfucking daddy, mama and them, my daddy, his mama, all them niggas from Yazoo, Mississippi. Y'all already know that. I've been told y'all this. I've done my genealogy. Well, for the most part, with my mother's side. Like I told y'all, my father's side, I'm gonna have to go to Mississippi to get that because that shit is well hidden. They don't want to give me nothing. But like on my mama's side, you got Alabama, you got Tennessee, Mississippi. So it's like, what nigga, where your people from? Don't get to talking no motherfucking Tennessee and shit. What the fuck the Israel's in Tennessee? You see the bullshit that we are faced with on a regular basis, man. And I'm talking about the people like myself that's trying to climb out of this shit. Do you see this dumb shit? What the fuck, man? He talking about he from Inglewood and his last name is Israel. Oh my motherfucking God, let's roll.
Now I need to have a conversation with him.
Are you here as a delegate or a guest? Or how? A guest. I don't know what that.
Yes.
A guest.
Why
do you believe Donald Trump is the answer?
Why do I believe that? It ain't about Trump. I'm against the Democratic Party. It ain't about Biden or Trump. It's them parties. I'm at war with the Democratic Party. I'm done.
I'm against all you stupid motherfuckers. Because you want to make it out to be about parties when it's a fucking cabal. You know, you want to continue to preach this fucking divisive shit. This is division. You know what's the opposite of division in a context like this? You saying fuck all them motherfuckers. You being down with Monty Brewster. Y'all know who Monty Brewster is? That's the character that Richard Pryor played in Brewster's Million. Who the fuck? He told you who to vote for. Didn't he tell you in Brewster's Million? What did he say? Who you gonna vote for? That motherfucker said none of the above. That's the opposite of division in a context like this. I ain't voting for none of you motherfuckers. I'm not picking none one of y'all.
One of the things I want to say, I'm Pastor David Lowry, Universal Baptist Church.
One of the things that I want to say is this.
Now, again, I love all these brothers with all the knowledge. People who touch on, you know, the whole fake Jew thing and the Ashkenaz and all this other stuff and ooda, right? As I've always told any of the brothers that I talk to, that I know, that know me, I'm not saying motherfuckers is not lying, that they're lying about the whole thing about this role that these so-called Jews or Khazarians or Ashkenazis or whatever the fuck I'm losing count on what to call them. Like, I lost track. What am I supposed to call these motherfuckers? I'm not saying that the stuff that people have put out about that is not true. I'm not saying that these people are not guilty of crimes on the highest motherfucking level. But when you go from politics to a motherfucking preacher, that seals the deal that our people played the biggest role in this. You're not going to tell me that we didn't do a transfer of power to these motherfuckers that you call so-called Jews today. You're not going to tell me that that's not what happened. That's what happened. After we transferred the power, they came in and within different sectors and sections, they pulled the coup d'etats and all that other shit. But in order for them to pull those goddamn coup d'etats, a motherfucker had to set them up for that. And who the fuck was it? A cocksucker like this motherfucker you see on the screen. Who in the fuck you think led our people to the fucking slaughter? It was these goddamn churches. It's just like I hear the brother Jim Redwood talk about how the churches that we see around today, they really weren't churches. They were healing centers and this, that, and the other, right? And the first thing I think about, right, being in Chicago with all of the history here, when I hear him say that, the first thing I think about is Holy Name Cathedral. Research Holy Name Cathedral. Red probably already know about it. He probably already know about the motherfucker just because he has a lot of extensive knowledge about Chicago itself, which is the reason for why I did that video dedicating it to him, showing him that statue that he was showing in the book. That's why I did that, because he do have a lot of knowledge about Chicago. You know what I'm saying? So when he get to talking about how they turned them into churches and they did all this other stupid shit, they was really healing centers and all that, I think about Holy Name Cathedral. Look it up. Holy Name Cathedral. It's over on like, it's like right on the outskirts of downtown Chicago, right? Now my question becomes, what the fuck, where the fuck did these motherfuckers who look like us, where did they fit into this? After they turned these motherfuckers into churches, where do we fit into leading our people to the fucking slaughter? We weren't sitting up there hearing the word from a white man. It was a nigger. How did that happen? What caused that? Well, I already know without a motherfucker having to chime in and, you know, because again, like I said, I use my brain. It's that Masonic order. It's that Freemason bullshit. That's how they became preachers to begin with. Preachers on the highest of levels are Masons. Now, if you're running a shitty ass fucking piece of shit ass church with 15 members in it and stuff like that, well, yeah, well, you know, that could be a hit or miss. They could be a motherfucker just starting out, the Fraternal Order of Islam, hint, hint, hint. Okay. They could be just a motherfucker just starting out, you know, that's trying to grow a name for themselves. Or they could be somebody that's not down with the program. Right? Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Them shitty ass hole in the wall churches. They holding church in the garage and shit. Fucking dry rotted wood and all kind of fucked up ass type church. Y'all know the ones I'm talking about. They got 20 members and shit. You know, unless it's a church like that, them motherfuckers are Freemasons. Period. 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 I was trying to tell the motherfuckers some years back that I know that grew up with Doc Rivers, because y'all know Doc Rivers is from here. And they used to go to the same church with this motherfucker out in Maywood, which is a western suburb of Chicago. Kind of slightly north, but definitely a western suburb of Chicago. And I was trying to tell the motherfucker then, man, the motherfucker who owned the church, the pastor, is a Freemason. That's why you motherfuckers over in Maywood don't know nothing to this day. Because Maywood is mostly our people, although the Mexicans are coming in there and buying up everything now. But prior to that, it was mostly our people. That's why you motherfuckers are stupid as hell in Maywood now. That's why y'all don't know shit. And that's why y'all letting the motherfucking Mexicans come in here and buy up everything from under you. It's because of the fucking black churches that's in Maywood and Bellwood and the surrounding suburbs of that. Motherfucker don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. Here it is, you got this motherfucker standing next to him who is a pastor. The one nigga that just spoke, I guess he must be from Israel or something. That fake ass place there. I love, boy, when Red tear that shit apart about how it got started about the Rothschilds and all that, and you go into the history, what make it funny is because y'all know how Jim Red Wolf be. The other part that make it funny is he not the only motherfucker that done talked about this on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? You got pale skin motherfuckers that done broke the same shit down that he did, but it'd be funny when he do it. And it's like, that's the first thing I think about. I think about Jim Red Wolf when this motherfucker, yeah, I'm King Israel and Bobby Israel. Shut your dumb ass the fuck up, you stupid motherfucker. The motherfuckers you see, like the nigga that spoke first and the nigga that's speaking now with the milk dud head, these motherfuckers are your problem. We gonna put this Kazarian and Ashkenazi and all this other shit you niggas talking about, we gonna put that shit on the back burner it's temporary. Do you understand? I said it's temporary. We gonna put that fake Jew shit on the back burner for a minute and we gonna deal with these niggas.
To the American people and patriots across this country, black people have been with the Democratic Party for over 60 years, and we have nothing. We don't own anything in our community. We have no schools. There's no businesses in the black community. All we have is crime and problems. So as a pastor, I'm standing up here with Bob Ferretti and some of the other black leaders. The truth of the matter is...
Do you hear him? You call these motherfuckers black leaders, right? You just rolled out all this shit that's going on, right? And to a degree, it's all true. It's not like he lying about it. You know what I'm saying? I got to point the subversion out. I got to point out these sleeper cells and shit. I got to point them out to y'all. It's not like he lying about all that, right? But then he go right into the black leader shit. It's like, okay, well, first off, you're not a fucking leader. That goes against self-preservation. See how we back to that again? I could be a real douchebag in this video, but I'm not. I'm going to keep it kind of semi-clean, quasi-clean. The margarine of clean. I could be a real asshole. Leading another motherfucker goes entirely against self-preservation. And then not to mention, if you want to call yourselves so-called black leaders, that means you motherfuckers have failed. Y'all should turn y'all reins in. You should hang up your saddlebag. If you want to take that fucking route. Because that means we could blame it on you. Which is what I'm doing. I'm blaming it on these niggas. Not for the leadership, but for them being sellouts. COINTELPRO. And I'm also blaming the masses of fucking people who still can't see through motherfuckers like Umar Johnson and Tariq Nasheed. And then I done had motherfuckers come up to me, man, in my video. Go back to some of my videos, man. When I talked about them niggas. And look at the comments. You know how many times the motherfucker that told me, man, well, I can completely see why you saying about Umar Johnson. But, man, you got to back up off King Flex. Man, sit your pussy ass the fuck down. Fuck is you talking about, dummy? You got Step It and Fetch It. You got Ren and Stimpy. It's that fucking simple. This is the reason for why I'm doing these fucking videos. This is the reason for why I break it down. Y'all know I don't really get off into politics too much because I'm over politics. Like I've exhausted that from my system almost 2 decades now. Like I'm done with politics. I flick boogers at you while you talking to me about politics. Like, here, take that. Fuck out of here. Because that's what I think of politics. It's nothing more than a booger that I need to remove.
Why should black people keep voting for the Democrats when they don't have nothing? We need to understand this. We need to go and take a look at the Republican Party, but the Republican Party needs to be visual and need to do things in the black community. If we do that, we can make the...
Why aren't you doing anything in the black community? Why is it everybody else is doing something in the black community but you? The Mexicans cut our grass. They make our food. They do all these other fucking things. They tear up and repave the streets in our neighborhood. Why is it that we the only motherfuckers that can't do anything? Do you understand that this is how you motherfucking expose an agent for what they are? Why does this always have to be a come to fucking Jesus meeting when these pastors get up here and start talking? I put it in that manner because everybody waiting on Jesus to save them. Everybody waiting on Jesus to come do something for them. And this is what this signifies. When he talks about, well, what is the Republican Party going to do for the black community? It's like, well, how the fuck did all these other ethnicities of people get in our fucking community and they doing shit in our own community, but we ain't doing it in our own community? How is that possible? Because they still trying to render you helpless, man. That's how it's possible. They want you to think less of yourself. I try to tell my son this a million motherfucking times. Don't play into what it is they want you to do. Don't be that stupid little motherfucker that run the streets and shit and do shit you ain't got no business doing, because when you do it and you get caught, they gonna say, see, we told you years ago, oh, he got ADHD and the little girl got this and she can't sit still and blah, blah, blah. See? Why fall into their fucking hands? Why not stand up and say, fuck you, you motherfucker. I see what y'all did. I tell my son that. Why would you not do that? Why would you do the opposite? Why would you play into their hand? Why wouldn't you stand up and say, you piece of shit, you won't get me, you motherfucker? I see what you doing. This is what needs to happen, man, in order to get these motherfuckers out of our life. I've been telling my son that for quite some time now. This is what you got to do. This motherfucker you looking at on screen ain't shit. Somebody like my son, who finna be 21, or somebody that's younger than him, they may not understand that. They may see or hear pastor or reverend, and they just may go with the flow because of what they know of a pastor or a reverend to be. And it's like, no, man, this nigga work for them. Don't fall for the pastor shit. The reverend shit, you know, the man of the cloth shit. Don't fall for that old ass motherfucking trick. I tell any youngster that I don't give a fuck if you grew up Catholic and your parents are Catholic and all this. I don't give a fuck. Don't fall for that shit. Do not fall for that. You fuck up and piss and shit on everybody Monday through Saturday. And then you go in on Sunday and do confession and ask for forgiveness and think that everything is going to be okay. And then you turn around on Monday and go back to doing the same shit you was doing. Man, don't you fall for that bullshit. Why I got to sit in this dark ass little shoebox anyway and talk to this nigga? Don't fall for it. Don't fall for the Virgin Mary getting fucked by a spiritual dick. Don't fall for that stupid shit. And Joseph becoming the first motherfucking ready-made family motherfucker. Joseph had to been the first ready-made family nigga. You know, when you get with a chick that already got kids and the man ain't in the picture, that's a ready-made family. That's what they call that. So you telling me that this nigga, that God Almighty is the baby daddy, and Joseph just stumbled into a ready-made family? Man, miss me with this stupid shit. They give you the Black Madonna and child in the European countries, which I understand don't necessarily mean with, you know, motherfucker may interpret it to mean. And I get that. You know, Jim Redwood broke that down before. And I understand that. But it still don't change the fact that it's the exact opposite of the bullshit they give you here with the Virgin Mary and Jesus. It still don't change that part. It just means that there's some more underlying shit to it, meaning like you got to dig a little further or something. You know what I'm saying? But it don't change the fact that it's like, okay, well, you get a motherfucker the Black Madonna and child over there, which is basically a melanated Mary and a melanated Jesus. And then over here, they give you the pale bride. It's like, come on, man. These fucking ministers and reverends and pastors, they all in on this shit. When y'all gonna figure this shit out? I get irritated by it because every church, you still got churches open in America. Every church should be closed in America. And I'm not talking about all because they move to social media too. I ain't talking about that. I'm saying they should be closed because motherfuckers see them for what they are.
We already know the Democrats are not going to do nothing. I'm the grandson of Eloise Barton, the second lady ever elected to the City Council of Chicago, 16th Ward. And now...
And they all crooked in a dog hind legs. Okay? See, when you can follow... Okay, let me break this down for y'all. Let me point this out. When you got people before you, like this motherfucker that's speaking, and he talking about a change in leadership and this, that, and the other, and he has direct ties to a relative or a good friend of the family or something like that was already a part of what he's into now before he even got into it, how does that not equal this is why nothing has changed? I'm going to say it again. When you see a motherfucker like this guy on the screen, right, who tell you, oh, yeah, you know, my grandmother was a elected official of the 16th Ward. And I would have to do a quick Google search to see the area where the 16th Ward is. I was in the 18th Ward when I was voting. I mean, I'm sorry, not when I was voting, but when I was an election judge. I was in the 18th ward. I had to see what the 16th ward is. I'm not 100% sure. But when you see a motherfucker who had ties to somebody like that, that lets you know nothing has changed. That's why. We know nothing has changed. Everybody know that. People still had a hard time trying to wrap their minds around the reason for why it hasn't changed. It's because they put motherfuckers in place that's going to keep it going. And the way that you can prove it is by seeing who they connected to, man. God damn. It's that simple. See who they're connected to. And that explains every fucking thing. It's just like how I told y'all once before. I've been saying it, I'm going to say it a fucking again. The so-called high-profile niggas that are celebrities, sports players, politicians, and the whole 9 yards, they come from the tribes. The American indigenous autochthonous tribes of the descendants of the motherfucking tribes who sold us out. I'm going to say it again. Motherfuckers like your Michael Jordans, motherfuckers like your Oprah Winfreys, your fucking so-called black rappers, your so-called black actors like Denzel Washington and Morgan Freeman and all the rest of these motherfuckers, Lawrence Fishburne and all these other motherfuckers. They are the descendants of the tribes that sold us out. I don't give a fuck about no Ashkenazi, man. I done made it clear to everybody. Everybody who know me, anybody I can pick up the phone and call that can call me or whatever the case may be. They all know I want them all. I want everybody. I want them all. I want everybody. Because that's the only way to put an end to this shit. If you ignore the direct hand that our people have had in this shit all this time, then nothing will get better. If all you do is go out to pale skinned motherfuckers, or some motherfucker from Venezuela or from Ukraine or something like that, if they're the only motherfuckers you going after, nothing is going to change. If you don't go after people that look like me, look like Rando, Jen Red Wolf, and all the rest of the brothers, if you ain't going after motherfuckers that look like them too, then you not doing your job. Period. And you fronting. It's just that simple. I don't care who you are. If you don't have a special tomahawk for niggas that look like you to help them, you ain't no soldier. You're not real. And the tomahawk is one of the bare minimum basic things that I own. Can't be no motherfucking engine and don't own a tomahawk. You out of your fucking mind. You can't be about real warriorship and don't own a couple of karambits. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. Now, motherfucker may point out another tool, but I love karambits as a warrior. Need some real live training with them motherfuckers too, to keep it a buck. But at the end of the fucking day, you have people that look like us. You have motherfuckers in my family that done sold us out. Jim Red Wolf come from a famous past. He's talked to you a little bit about some of the shit that his family has done to sell us out. That's the proof. That's why I respect that nigga. One of the reasons why he get a little bit of respect from me is because he's willing to admit that a lot of his family members ain't on the up and up. And that's all I need to hear. I don't need him to go into fucking details and shit. And RIP to John Amos too. You know what I'm saying? But I don't need to go into details. I don't need to know how tall John Amos was and, how much he weighed and shit. That's all personal shit. I don't need to know how many children he got and how many wives and shit and women he was fucking. I don't need to hear all that. Those are details. I don't need the details. What he's told me is enough. That's going back to me having a brain. That's why I don't need details. That's why I don't need to hear all that shit. What he said was enough. I have a brain. I could take it from here. And I appreciate that for anybody who can come forward and be honest. Because that lets you know that our people have a hand in this shit. And at least he not like just denying it. Because, those his relatives and shit. And I respect that. But it's time for a change. I want them all. I don't give a fuck if they look like me and Jim Red Wolf or not. I want them all. I want them all gone. And I have not made that no secret ever. Since my first YouTube video on my very first channel, I've never made that no secret. I want all these niggas gone. I don't give a fuck how dark or light you are. I want your ass out of here.
What we see There's nothing that the Democrats have done or will they do across this country for black people but use us. So why?
And it ain't nothing you motherfucking black pastors have done for black people other than to use them for their motherfucking money. You got motherfuckers that's up in the church that can't get no help from the church, and they've been paying tithes for 5 motherfucking years, nigga. Can we have a conversation about that? I'll even leave the profanity out if that makes it more comfortable for you to talk about. Can we at least have a conversation about that? Can we have a conversation about how Farrakhan's mosque is over there on 74th, between 74th and 75th and Stony Island? Farrakhan's mosque. Can we have a conversation about how that neighborhood is fucked completely up? Coming up and down 79th Street and shit is fucked up. The brothers and the sisters are still trying to hold on to the businesses coming up and down 75th Street, but they losing their grip with that. You still got limbs and shit over there, right there off King Drive and shit on 75th. You got a couple of other restaurants and shit as soon as you come out the expressway on 75th. You know what I'm saying? But motherfuckers losing their grip. All our hardware stores are drying up. From the brothers and shit that look like us that own hardware stores, it's drying up. So what the fuck is the black church doing, man? You know how many billions of dollars the black church got? These motherfuckers got money longer than train smoke. They up there with the fucking Catholics and shit. Don't let these niggas fool you. The black church got money longer than train smoke. My aunt was married to the son of a pastor. So she died. She died married to him. He's the son of his mama is a pastor. Drove one of the biggest BMWs I ever seen in my motherfucking life. The heifer opened up a church on the west side, like right off of Madison and shit with 17 bathrooms. I said, this is bullshit. I don't believe you. I got to see this. I have to go there. I have to see what 17 bathrooms in a fucking church look like. Can you dig what I'm shoveling? 99.9% of the shit that y'all ever hear me speak about comes from experience. This is the reason for why my character is the way that it is. This is the reason why I think the way I do. This is the reason for why I act the way I act. Because the vast majority of shit that I could sit down and have a conversation with anybody about, the things that I was discussing in my in my Zoom meetings and stuff. When I was talking to them brothers and sisters that was in them Zoom meetings and shit, I was talking to them from experience. That's why I was able to show them shit. Because I had actually did it myself. This is why I act like this. What the fuck a church need with 17 goddamn bathrooms, man? But yet, she had it. I witnessed it. Straight up. My aunt husband was the son of a minister. Is the son of a minister, because as far as I'm concerned, I don't know if he's dead or not. Maybe he's still alive. But yeah. And these motherfuckers ain't done nothing for us. The goddamn church that she opened up with the 17 bathrooms was in a shitty-ass neighborhood on the west side of Chicago. Keep in mind, the vast majority of people on the west side is our people. I know I could be an asshole, man, and I could be, I wouldn't necessarily call it aggression because I'm not looking to harm anybody or control anybody with my energy. The only thing that I seek is just to get people to take a look at what it is that I'm talking about. Yes, we may not agree on every single thing that I've put out in this one video. Yeah, you may have some stuff where he's like, I don't know about that, Lone Wolf. And that's fine, y'all. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Because we won't learn and we can't build and grow together and until we see things a little differently. You know what I'm saying? Once we see things a little bit differently, you know what I'm saying? Then we can expound on it. We can learn from it. I can learn from what you say about why you look at it differently. You know what I'm saying? And you can also take something from me that I said that caused you to look at it that way. You know what I'm saying? This is the reason for why, I can fuck with a motherfucker who, we may not agree on everything, but, motherfucker don't get pissed off about it. It ain't no love loss and shit. Like, me and Jen Red Wolf don't agree on everything. We have our disagreement about whatever that was, and that's it. It's over. Ain't no, man, fuck you, and no, fuck your punk ass nigga, pull up, and, man, we don't do all that bullshit. But yeah, there's certain things that, he don't agree with, and there's certain things I don't agree with. We ain't supposed to fucking kill each other over it. So at the end of the day, my only goal is to be like, hey, man, look at this shit, man. That's my only goal. How many times, and when I'm saying now in terms of this, look at this shit, How many times we gonna keep falling for the politics and the pastors, man? How many times we gonna keep falling for this shit? This is the reason why I'm talking about motherfucker voting. What are you talking about? The politics in this country and the churches in our fucking community destroyed our fucking communities, and you want to continue to talk to me about voting? When every motherfucking time it's time for an election, that's when they bring in the man of the cloth? Throughout the entire fucking term, ain't nobody in no church, ain't nobody talking about no reverends and ministers and all this other shit. But the minute it's time for a goddamn election, now all of a sudden it's, oh, I'm pastor this and I'm pastor that. Man, sit your dumb ass the fuck down, man. We sick of you motherfuckers. Take a back fucking seat. If you're not going to tell the truth as a pastor, and a good start would be that all this shit is bullshit, Jesus ain't coming to save you, etc., that'll be a start. But if you're not going to tell the fucking truth, then get the fuck out of the way. It's just that motherfucking simple. All right, we're a little bit over the hour mark. I don't want to go that long, but y'all know how I can get. I'm going to get up out of here, man. I think I played how much of this? Hell, I played 14 minutes of it, even with me doing all my damn ranting and raving. I just want you guys to get something out of this, man. I'm not asking for you all to jump on my bandwagon and, all this other stuff. Like I said, that's the reason why I don't ask for donations and all this other stuff. I could have asked y'all for donations for filing my court case. And a lot of y'all would have donated too, as long as I was able to prove to y'all I filed a court case. You know what I'm saying? But I said, fuck that. I don't want to do shit like that. I'm going to do it all on my own. And that's going to be the end of that. And if I can help somebody from what it is that I did, I'm going to help them for free. Straight up. Now, I'm not talking about, somebody having to do your paperwork and write it up for you and all that. It's like, well, yeah, that's a little bit different. I can kind of understand a person wanting to charge you. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying me just putting out that information and saying, hey, this is where I got it from. This is what I'm reading it from and all that other shit. That shit should be free. Period. So anyway, this is Original Lone Wolf, man. I dropped this video because I love y'all, right? Ain't no fake shit in me. I'm not perfect, but I ain't no fake ass nigga. Back in the day, we used to call them pussy, punk, faggot, chump, hoe ass gumps, right? I'm not that. It's Original Lone Wolf, man. I love y'all. And I'm up out of here. Peace.